Hey, warm and windy today. It was windy, gusty about 35, but our high around 72. Tonight going to be mostly clear. You see that warm moon with a low around 41. Tomorrow's high going to be a nice day too. Sunny around 70 right now. Hey, we are at 72 degrees. Hey, we have a special guest here. I want to say hello, good afternoon to Titus. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you? Good to be here.
Titus, you've been in our old studios.
Mm-hmm.
And tell us about that. You've been a while back. Welcome to our new studios.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the invite. Yes, I've been twice over to the old studios, played there with Teresa Britt and Matthew Mefford, who I'm going to be playing with next Sunday at Yeehaw Ranch. Right now I'm here by myself, and I'm glad that you have me.
Yeah, and and you're from Munich, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And tell the people about it, so you can have your fans and friends, family listening in Germany right now.
Yeah.
Under München. TexasRebelRadio.com.
Yeah, listen to Texas Rebel Radio. Texas Rebel Radio in Germany. Das kann man dort auch empfangen im Internet. Yeah. Well, I've been coming to this area since 2017, almost yearly, with a gap of the COVID years, of course, 20 and 21. And over the years, I keep on making friends and find music opportunities to play. I love being here in Austin.
What first attracted you to come to Fredericksburg?
Somebody had told me of the famous Luckenbach at Bowen. He's actually born in Luckenbach, and he's living in Germany, in Augsburg. And he told me about Luckenbach. I knew Luckenbach as the mystic spot out of the song, but I wasn't aware that it's a real life community and this music place. So he said, go there, speak to Hayden Whittington, say hello from at Bowen. I went there. Everybody was nice, and I had to sit in on the Pickers Circle and met people, and it went on from there.
Were you surprised that it was nothing more than a dance hall and a bar?
Well, there's a lot more, which is daily life music. I mean, as for the site, to me, it's like a movie scene. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. It doesn't exist in Europe, that type of, partly abandoned in a way because it's not a post office anymore, but it's not abandoned at all. It has a new purpose. So that kind of using a place and using it as something else was totally new on me. And then the fantastic music there, daily.
Yeah. And what do you think about the German heritage of Fredericksburg?
It's everywhere. I can see that, and many people speak to me and tell me when their ancestors have been coming here, usually in the 19th century, very often. And I met some people who spoke German before they spoke English. Like, they were mostly born, I think, around 1940, and it was in their teenage years that they spoke German. So some still speak a little bit. Most have probably forgotten most of it, like by being Americans and going to school where you speak English. So, but yeah, it's everywhere.
How old were you when you learned English?
School days, like 12 probably, or something. Uh-huh.
So they teach English in German school?
English is taught in all German schools, yes. I mean, that's absolutely mandatory. They even brought it into elementary school by now. And it very often it's French as well, or it's Latin, but English is absolutely mandatory, yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
Well, speaking one, which is German. I mean, I get by in English, and that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, music-wise, you got into the blues and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Most
blues. Well, when I was a kid, it was like what was there to listen. I liked the brass music in the German beer gardens. I also liked the classical music they taught me in school. I played orchestra, played violin in the orchestra, or viola even, because I was good at reading music, and you needed to read a different clef on viola. I didn't have any problems with the logic of the music systems, so they put me to viola. And then I heard somebody playing Chuck Berry type music, and then somebody gave me a recording with blues music, so I had a little jazz at home from a recording. It all fell into place, one after the other.
Okay, so why don't you play something for us? What would you like to play?
Yeah.
You don't sing, but you're going to play guitar.
I don't sing, right now. I'm going to play acoustic guitar. You said the moon is the big theme today, so I will be playing a moon song as well.
Oh, cool.
It's an old swing song by Harold Arlen, who has also written Over the Rainbow and all those. It is only a paper moon.
Cool. That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
You know,
Thanks.
now you also play some blues, you know, and we're talking about you have a thing called the Gatemouth Blues, and we're talking about Clarence Gatemouth Brown.
Oh
Who
yeah.
inspired you to do something like that?
Oh yeah. I can play some blues. Yeah, Clarence Gatemouth Brown is a big inspiration for me. I mean, he was equally fantastic on guitar and on fiddle and on harmonica, and I heard he played other instruments as well. And I mean, he had that thing. I don't play country or blues or jazz. I play American music, Gatemouth style.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
Me too. Yeah.
it's Gatemouth Blues.
Yeah.
Now you were talking, you know, for 1 hour. You play several different string instruments. Tell people what you play.
Well, I play guitar as my primary instrument, and I play violin as well. And I picked up the steel guitar long time ago. I actually like playing lap steel. Always have been liking David Lindley. And a couple of years ago, during COVID to be exact, I picked up the pedal steel. I needed I was, as many of us, I was spending quite some time at home, so I needed a project to do something. So I got me a pedal steel guitar, and I'm working on
Self-taught,
this.
huh? Kind of self-taught? Kind of self-taught?
Yeah, I'm always self-taught in anything I do. I play mandolin and banjo as well. I had violin lessons as a kid, which I'm grateful for, that's for sure. And I can read music. I'm a theoretically trained musician, if you will, but And I'm grateful for that and for the experience I had playing the kids' orchestra, because that's such a fascinating thing. 30 kids in a room who play. That's just wonderful. But the exact type of music, I sort of went away as a kid and went into a different direction, and I'm totally self-taught there.
Now, do you prefer, when you're playing now in places now, would you preferring it to as a fiddle or a violin?
It's definitely fiddle. You have to say fiddle in this case, because I'm using all the ugly stuff that's in there, the scratches, the noises, all that, I'm not omitting any of this. I'm trying to use as much of percussive note I can give it and all that. And classical violin, the deal with classical violin is you try to make it sound, or you don't try, you do. You make it sound like a voice, like in range probably speak a female voice, and you try to omit all the noises and make it a pure and clean tone. There's many ways to play classical violin. All the other stuff is there too. Whereas what I'm trying to do, there's no purity and no cleanliness in it at all. I like give me the funk, give me the just like how I like a room to be, not very tidy. Things can. Let things breathe. Let it be natural. Let it be organic.
Well, my friends John and Judy, he plays stand-up bass. She plays classical violin. Mm-hmm. They'll play like Eleanor Rigby and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
All these different kinds of tunes.
It's wonderful. It's a big tradition. It's fantastic. Yeah. It's just I feel drawn towards a different route.
Now, as banjo, are you aware that Steve Martin's quite a famous banjo, a great banjo player? Yeah,
I'm familiar with that. Yeah. Sort of. Yeah. I'm a banjo hack. I play bluegrass a little bit, but basically I play it the way I want to play it and use it as a sound coloring. Guitar is my primary instrument. On the guitar I can be quite technical, like I can explain different styles of playing, different techniques, different things. I can get very technical there. On the banjo, I just grab it and play whatever feels right and whatever suits the song or the surrounding. And it's a certain sound and a certain atmosphere it is creating almost. So that's where I'm going, where it begins and where it ends. I'm not a legitimate bluegrass player by no means in any way.
So, what technique and style would you like to do next?
I could do some. Let's see. I try some. Well, I do some Texas shuffle, like a Ray Price shuffle. I do Heartaches by the Number.
What'd you call that one?
That's Heartaches by the Number by Ray Price.
Cool.
My version of this. Yeah, those shuffles, the country shuffle songs, that has been totally new on me. I knew a little bit about Hank Williams, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, and then I saw people dancing here, and which does not exist in Germany anymore. Nobody dances like this anymore, like the couple dancing and the
why not?
If it happens, it's usually more like cha-cha-cha, or there's many people who like tango, tango dancing. If couples go dancing, they usually go there, or they do salsa dancing. The other stuff is sort of...
Even the younger people?
Yeah, especially the younger people. Like what you see in the dance halls here, it's not existing anymore. And I see it here, and I understand the main step or the main tempo you want is a slower kind of shuffle. And I'm loving it. And those songs, there's so many. All the Johnny Bush songs, I try to learn as many of them as I can, and I try to put them on my guitar as instrumental tunes. Just I've once learned the swing tunes like It's Only a Paper Moon. I'm addressing the country material in just the same way now.
Now in Germany, did you listen to American country artists?
Absolutely, yes. But there's a big gap. No, really. I know how crazy this sounds, but nobody knows who George Strait is.
In Germany?
Nobody, absolutely nobody. In Murray Haggard, maybe, but not much. It's not much different. We adore Johnny Cash and Elvis, which I do too personally. Part of the reason is that they both were stationed in Germany as soldiers, right, yeah, so there's all this history and the museums and all this is going on, which is nice, and I like it too. For what reason, I don't know, but Dwight Yoakam was one I became aware of in the 80s, but mainly what it actually was, we had this big rockabilly revival. The Stray Cats had just come up, and I was, wow, Brian Setzer. So you listen to that, then you try to follow where they come from. You end up with Johnny Burnett, Jerry Lee Lewis. Next step, there's Hank Williams. There must be you try to trace it back. So I learned about Hank Williams when I was like 16, but I had it on record. And
what about Elvis?
Well, Elvis was there. He's being played in the radio, and we like him. But it's mostly the rock and roll Elvis. He did a lot of country as well, and I don't know. He probably could have done. I like his adult pop arrangements today. I love it. All the Las Vegas Elvis, I love it too. I'm not one of those who say he was only good in Memphis. The big Las Vegas show, I love it. I think it's fantastic. So, but it's adult-oriented pop, you can say. Yeah. But they're like Neil Diamond.
There's one story, I think, with the Beatles that they were in Munich when they first were starting.
Hamburg. It was Hamburg.
Yeah, Hamburg. And they said Hamburg, and people thought the Beatles were from Germany.
Well, that's crazy. Once they open their mouth, it's like so clear. That was the sensation with the Beatles. Before that, in England, if you wanted success, no matter where you're from, you needed to speak like they speak in London, Queen's English. The Beatles were the first one who brought their Liverpool dialect, which, I've been standing on bus stations in Liverpool and heard people chatting, and I'm thinking, is this really English I'm listening to?
Cockney or something like that.
Cockney is from around London, so it's all those different, like Ozzy Osbourne is from Manchester, and Alex Harvey is from Scotland, and the other singer from AC/DC is from what's that called? Anyway, it's brutal dialects, and the Beatles spoke it on what is like BBC and stuff, and that was new. So it was clear to hear where they're from. And in Germany, Paul McCartney picked up a little bit of German. John Lennon, obviously, not at all. But yeah, Hamburg was the deal where you could play like for a month. You had a monthly engagement, monthly job, and that's where Paul McCartney bought the Höfner bass.
Yeah.
Because people think he bought it because it was cheap. It wasn't cheap. It was an expensive instrument in Germany, and it was even more expensive in England as an export or import instrument. But it was the only bass that is available that didn't look funny if you flip
Yeah,
it
because
it's
left-handed.
symmetrical. You
He's
know,
left-handed, yeah.
a Fender bass looks weird if you flip it like Jimi Hendrix flipping the Strat.
Yeah.
So that was the reason for Paul McCartney buying it.
And he just recently got it back. It was stolen, right?
I've heard that
Just
story.
recently.
Yeah.
50 years later, he gets it back.
I mean, I know Klaus Voormann a little bit. You know, well, the fifth Beatle obviously is George Martin, but Klaus is the one who did the album covers for Revolver, and he played on other he played electric bass on a lot of John Lennon recordings. And he was an art student in Hamburg in the beginning of the 60s. Him and Astrid Kirchherr, who did the first pictures of the Beatles, and they took those boys, they were even 20 then, home, fed them, and they became friends. And Klaus is living close to Munich. I know him a little bit. He did an album a couple of years ago because he plays on a million famous albums and has created those albums covers, but he doesn't get any royalties out of this because there's no second royalty thing to mechanical to playing. So he has not a lot of old age support. So he made this album, and all his pals from back when, like Paul McCartney and Dr. John, whoever, they said, okay, we record one song with you. You can use it for your album and tour with it, tour with a video of the making of, tour with the album, present it, and make some money out of that. And he did it, and we were the band who were playing in the front room, and he was doing the big theater, and we were playing in the front room to entertain people while they were leaving and attending. And we started to play like Rock and Robin, and he came out of the door like, oh, who's playing there? I like rock and roll. He was super nice. I even had a guitar with an autograph. I had him sign my guitar, Klaus Voormann.
Oh, wow.
And he has Beatles stories to no end, and he says, like, forget the myth. I mean, the reality is much more interesting, than all the uninteresting stuff they're pushing through the media.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why don't you play one more for us?
I will play one more. I do some Hank Williams.
Hank Williams Senior.
I stick to senior.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, that was awesome, man.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you.
And tell
Waldo,
people
for
where we're going
having
to be the next few weeks and everything.
I'll be playing Austin, the Longhorn Saloon on Thursday, 9 to 11 with Manny Velasquez. I'll be playing Wahlberg, German restaurant on Wednesday with Anthony Garcia. And I'll be playing Fredericksburg right here, the club at Barons Creek on Saturday, 7 to 10 with Anthony Garcia. And I'll be playing Yeehaw Ranch Saturday afternoon with Teresa Britt, and Matthew Mefford.
Wow. And how long in Frankfurt for?
Until the 3rd of April.
You go back to Germany?
Yeah, and on Monday I play with Stephen K. Morris at Western Edge to add that.
Next
then
Monday?
Next Monday. Yeah. Those are the ones
Cool.
before I leave. And then I
Before
go
you
back to
leave.
Germany. That is.
And when would you be back to Frankfurt again, you think?
I hope for next year, April. I mean, it's a huge thing for me that I can make it possible to be here like for 5-6 weeks out of a year. I'm a full-time musician in Germany, so I need to, take the time out, take time off, afford it. And it's huge for me, and I'm thinking I can make it possible next year in April.
I can't wait till you come back.
I'm looking forward to
Well,
that so much.
Jan's a Derpinair, is the owner here, and she does a thing called, today German lessons. And she always ended by saying, Mach's gut!
Mach's gut, dann mach's auch gut.
Yeah.
Danke,
Thanks
du
for
auch.
coming in. Cool, man.
Cool, so I finished here.
Then the old business is killed.